So I review TV shows now, apparently. Even though I'm not qualified at all, I'm going to try to review Black Lightning Season 1, Episode 1. It is a new weekly show on Netflix based off of the DC Comics character of Black Lightning, which I knew nothing about going in. It was this was kind of like the Marvel Netflix series is, but I knew who the characters were before then. Like, my first exposure to Black Lightning was like, I don't know, the trailer to this, I guess. I didn't know who Black Lightning was. I heard of the character. I think he was in the Justice League of America, like, shortly. May have read a bit on him in the encyclopedia that I have. But basically, Black Lightning is this guy called Jefferson Pierce. And the show takes place around 6 or 7 years after he takes down this person called Tobias Whale. It is shown in the program that Tobias Whale has come out of prison, and he's back doing what he does best, throwing people into tanks of water and waiting for them to be killed by piranhas. But he's not really in this episode for that long. The main portion of this, it's all setting up who Jefferson Pierce is and why he stopped being Black Lightning in the first place. It's very interesting to see an older superhero, like a superhero in his mid-40s, like someone that's been in the game for a long time, that knows what they're doing. And like right off the offset, we're shown his powers, the extent of his powers. We're shown what he can do, and we're shown his weaknesses, what ticks him off, what really gets under his skin, and who he cares about most, and who he will do anything for to protect. And I guess that the villains, this 100 gang, are going to go after them to get to him, because obviously this Tobias Whale guy knows who Black Lightning is, I guess. Maybe. This episode doesn't really set up like an origin, or it doesn't show what Black Lightning did before the 9-year gap. It just shows him coming back and being Black Lightning again. But I can expect an origin from like episode 3, or they'd have flashbacks throughout the show. They're not gonna just dump the origin on episode 1. I wouldn't think it would be a good show if they did give you all of the answers in the first episode. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff to like in Black Lightning episode 1. There's also some bits that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, first of all, his daughters are the most annoying characters ever. Don't like them at all. Like, you've got one that's overly sassy, and the other one that's kind of like she's overly headstrong, and that's obnoxious. Like, it gets to the point where it just becomes like the worst. It's a mixture of the worst character traits you could give, all given to these two characters. Like, you could make one character obnoxious to the point where it's funny. You can make another character be like, oh, I know I almost died, but I still don't feel more my life anyway. I'm still gonna go to that club again, even though I know that it's filled with people that are gonna kill me. Like, yeah. Why are these characters written so poorly? Like, the main character is so likable that everyone around him, like, they try and make everyone around him so unlikable. And then you got his other daughter, who's like, hate the 100, gotta stick up for the rights of black people. But the people we're fighting are black people. It's like, really? Because the show isn't in nature a Black Lives Matter or a pro-black people thing. It's just supposed to be a fun superhero comic book show. It's not trying to have any political commentary on it. But there are, like, little hints of that thrown in everywhere, which can be seen as a good thing and a bad thing, but it's unavoidable in shows like this, where most of the cast is black. Like, it was unavoidable in Luke Cage, but it was kind of the point in Luke Cage. It's going to be unavoidable in Black Panther, because of the subject nature. Like I said, I'd never read a Black Lightning comic before, so I didn't know what I was going into. But from the offset here, the first scene that we see, or the first thing that we see is Jefferson Pierce driving home with his two kids. Well, kids, they're kind of teenagers now. But they're driving home, then they get pulled over by the police, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be one of these, showing how like black people are vindicated by the police. Luckily, it wasn't like that. Luckily, that's the only time that we see that, and the main police officer is black, which I thought was nice. It's a good change of pace. To see a black police officer that's not an idiot. But I liked this episode. I liked the ending where we see that one of his daughters, the oldest daughter, has powers of her own. She kind of breaks the sink, and this is a thing that I've found. Why is it that always when they show strength, or the strength of a character, they always have them breaking a sink? Power Rangers, the Red Ranger, he's super strong, breaks the sink. In this, the character is super strong. She's probably got fire powers from the way her hands were glowing red. But she's strong, breaks the sink. Yeah, that's just something that I've picked up, kind of a nitpick. But yeah, I can see myself really enjoying this. I mean, the main character is good. I want to see a dynamic between the heroes and the villains. And I think that DC really has something to prove, because their CW shows, like the shows on Sky here in Britain, they are good. They are really good. Like the first couple seasons of Arrow, they were good. Like the first season of Flash that I watched, good. It was really good. This, I think, has to follow that quality, and it also has to rival the shows, the Netflix shows that Marvel's putting out, like Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. I mean, Luke Cage and Iron Fist, they're easy to beat anyway. And Defenders and Punisher. Like, you've got all this competition for, like, superhero-based TV shows now, that I feel like each one that comes out has to be better than the previous. Which is a sad thing, because especially since Black Lightning is a weekly thing, and it's going to be coming out like an episode a week. So we're going to get halfway through, and then every episode of Jessica Jones drops. So people are going to think, am I going to watch a weekly series? Or am I gonna watch Black Lightning weekly? Or am I gonna binge watch season 2 of Jessica Jones? That's kind of the problem that I've got. I'm gonna continue watching both. I mean, Jessica Jones season 1 was amazing. I mean, and that's another thing. Those shows had such good villains as well, like David Tennant's Purple Man, Vincent D'Onofrio's Orson Fisk. Great villains. I'd even say Diamondback, like up until he got that crazy suit that kind of made him look like an absolute moron. He was threatening. Up until he got the suit. I can't even remember who the villain was in Iron Fist, and that's sad because he came back for Defenders. And even the villain Defenders, the person played by Sigourney Weaver, like, yeah, no one remembers her. And then you've got Billy Russo from Punisher, and I'm sat here like, he's one of the best villains. Like, I know a lot of people think, oh, he was underdeveloped, oh, this, all that, but he's a good villain, he's a good character, he's well developed. For people that don't know the source material, they wouldn't have seen the twist that happened there. But I'm getting sidetracked. I don't think that this Tobias Whale person can really deliver like that level of quality. Like, he's definitely threatening. Like, he puts a harpoon in someone's chest and then pulls him over like he's a fucking fish. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens in the next episode. I'm excited to see where it goes and where it's headed, and how the climax is going to, and how the show's going to finish off, and how that climax is going to happen. I'm excited to see these two characters go head to head, and I'm just excited to see more of Jefferson Pierce, more of Black Lightning, because it's a genuinely likable character. So that has been my review for Black Lightning Season 1, Episode 1. I will see you guys in the next video, which will be up tomorrow. Peace.